or something like that, everybody would say, "We must have Bogart. He's smart like hell, that man." In a way, he gave them great solace and comfort, I suppose. And so every morning, as I told you, Hat would shout very loudly, "What happening there, Bogart?" And he would wait for the indeterminate grumble, which was Bogart saying, "What happening there, Hat?" But one morning, when Hat shouted, there was no reply. Something which had appeared unalterable was missing. Bogart had vanished, had left us without a word. The men in the street were silent and sorrowful for 2 whole days. They assembled in Bogart's little room. Hat lifted up the deck of cards that lay on Bogart's table and dropped 2 or 3 cards at a time, reflectively. Hat said, "You think he gone Venezuela?" But no one knew. Bogart told them so little. And the next morning, Hat got up and lit a cigarette and went to his back veranda and was on the point of shouting when he remembered. He milked the cows earlier than usual that morning, and the cows didn't like it. A month passed, then another month. Bogart didn't return. Hat and his friends began using Bogart's room as their clubhouse. They played whappy and drank rum and smoked, and sometimes brought the odd stray woman to the room. Hat was presently involved with the police for gambling and sponsoring cockfighting, and he had to spend a lot of money to bribe his way out of trouble. It was as if Bogart had never come to Miguel Street. And after all, Bogart had been living in the street only for 4 years or so. He had come one day with a single suitcase, looking for a room, and he had spoken to Hat, who was squatting outside his gate, smoking a cigarette and reading the cricket scores in the evening paper. Even then he hadn't said much. All he said, that was Hat's story, was, "You know any rooms?" And Hat had led him to the next yard, where there was this furnished servant room going for $8 a month. He had installed himself there immediately, brought out a pack of cards, and begun playing patience. This impressed Hat. For the rest, he had always remained a man of mystery. He became Patience. When Hat and everybody else had forgotten, or nearly forgotten Bogart, he returned. He turned up one morning just about 7, and found Eddowes and a woman on his bed. The woman jumped up and screamed. Eddowes jumped up, not so much afraid as embarrassed. Bogart said, "Move over. I'm tired, and I want to sleep." He slept until 5 that afternoon, and when he woke up, he found his room full of the old gang. Eddowes was being very loud and noisy to cover up his embarrassment. Hat had brought a bottle of rum. Hat said, "What happening there, Bogart?" And he rejoiced when he found his cue taken up. "What happening there, Hat?" Hat opened the bottle of rum and shouted to Boy to go buy a bottle of soda water. Bogart asked, "How the cows, Hat?" "They all right." "And Boy?" "He all right too. Ain't you just hear me call him?" "And Errol?" "He all right too. Well, what happening, Bogart? You all right?" Bogart nodded and drank a long Madrassi shot of rum, then another and another, and they had presently finished the bottle. "Don't worry," Bogart said. "I go buy another." They had never seen Bogart drink so much. They had never heard him talk so much, and they were alarmed. No one dared to ask Bogart where he had been. Bogart said, "You boys been keeping my room hot all the time?" "It wasn't the same without you," Hat replied. But they were all worried. Bogart was hardly opening his lips when he spoke. His mouth was twisted a little, and his accent was getting slightly American. Sure, Bogart said, and he had got it right. He was just like an actor. Hat wasn't sure that Bogart was drunk. In appearance, you must know, Hat recalled Rex Harrison, and he had done his best to strengthen the resemblance. He combed his hair backwards, screwed up his eyes, and he spoke very